What's up, everything Browns Nation? 12:01 to be exact. It is Browns football time at 4:25, not 4, but 4:25 as we take on the Denver Broncos, Mile High City. Where last year is where we got one of our most thrilling wins. Let me know where you're at, where you're watching from in the comments. I would appreciate it. Let's have some fun today while we are with each other for this next hour. I'm trying to get my YouTube comments up. I don't know what's going on, so bear with me today. We got a lot to talk about. A lot's been going on in the media with our good friend, our dear quarterback, Baker Mayfield. Now. But before we do that, let's get on to talking about those New England Patriots. Now, I know it's a little old. Some of you didn't come to the stream right after I got done. My voice is starting to go out. Right after I got done ranting and raving as they lost to the Patriots. How are you feeling about those Patriots? Let me know as they lost 27-13. Have you gotten over it yet? Are you like, it's okay, I'm fine with it now, I've gotten over it, it's time to move on? Or do you feel like we could have beaten the so-called best team in the NFL? Let me know where you're at as far as that goes. Where I'm at, I'm like, hey, it was a letdown. I got on here, I was angry. We're 2-5. It is what it is. Nothing's changing. We got the same coach, the same personnel. We're going to do what we have to do. Let me know. Laura BP's in Colorado with the snow. Lord help you. Robert says, hey, Corey. Robert says, I don't care what Baker says. I'm always in his corner. This guy is indeed our future. He will be awesome. He is our future. We'll get into that. As you see, I'm still fiddling around trying to get to my YouTube people, and I just can't seem to find it. I don't know what's going on. Why is it not showing me? Here we are. I'm with Baker. I'm with everybody. And now my volume's going crazy. Here we are, YouTube. Aaron says, what's up, Corey? Clyde, everything Browns Nation, what's up? Cheryl says, dog check. And Brian says, the place in Denver will be known as Miles High Stadium, as in Myles Garrett. I love the wordplay you did there.
Dog check!
That was beautiful.
Dog
you
check!
asked for a dog check, and you get it. Hopefully we can learn from losing to the Patriots last week. We cannot make mistakes. I don't care who we play. I don't care if Tom Brady's at quarterback, Joe Flacco's at quarterback, the quarterback who's playing for Denver. I don't know who he is. I don't care who he is. We cannot make mistakes. That is our problem. We can't make mistakes. Steve says, if this country bumpkin of a coach can't beat a third string QB in a terrible defense, then he needs to be fired. I won't go that far as them having a terrible defense. We'll get into that. Their defense isn't terrible, but their offense hasn't been great. And now we're going against a who's who of quarterback that nobody knows. Brandon Allen. Who the heck is that? And that, it scares me. That scares me because he has nothing to lose. I'd rather go against Joe Flacco if I'm being quite honest with you. If I'm being 100% honest with you, I'd rather go against Joe Flacco as we face the Denver Broncos, if I'm being honest. I know that may sound ridiculous. Why would you want to go against Joe Flacco? He always beats us when he was in Baltimore. You'd want to go against the quarterback that nobody knows. That's the point. Nobody knows him. Nobody has film. He should be a scrub. I don't call people scrubs because I don't play football. I let that for the professionals. But you know where I'm getting at. Jason says Miles has 4+ sacks today. Aaron says, what's up, Corey? Aaron also says, we sure can't. That's how you lose games, turnovers, and penalties. And my guy, AAA, says, makes sense, Corey. Appreciate that. Appreciate the love from everybody that is in the comments on YouTube and on Facebook. Julie says, woof, woof in the comments. And Reginald said, Austin, Texas, woof, woof, pound, bound.
Dog check!
That's what big dogs do. Get into my sound effects. Listen, I'm glad Triple A says it makes sense. I know we don't know who this guy is. I know he is the unknown and we should go on there and take advantage of him. But, man, it's always those quarterbacks that go out there and they have something to prove. And while I'm at it, cheap plug. If you're watching on YouTube, give that a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that like button. And if you're on Facebook and haven't subscribed to YouTube, hit that link. I would greatly appreciate it. All your support, I would love it. Thank you very much. Browns Nation, we got to do it because we are 3 losses in a row. And people love it. So we just got to keep on rolling. But I don't know who this guy is. No, of course he knows who he is. His fans and his family does. But I don't know. And that scares the crap out of me. And listen, I could sound stupid for saying this, but man, when Joe Flacco was announced not playing, I said, oh boy. Oh boy. Because there is no positives whatsoever that could come from this game. Unless we win like 63-0. And that's not going to happen. No positives whatsoever that I can see. I'm getting to that sound effect. I seen it.
I woke up feeling dangerous.
I hope they woke up feeling dangerous, Aaron. I don't see any. I mean, we can have, we won the game and that's good. But everybody that woke up this morning, I hope you woke up feeling dangerous. I see you coming in. Robert says Browns go crazy today and win big. I hope you're right. Bo says 31-17. Get those predictions in. Get your big dogs in. You guys know how it works, hopefully. And if you're new, get your big dogs of the game in your predictions. If you're new to this, hit that thumbs up. I would appreciate it. Share to all your Browns fans. To the left, you see the rundown. That's just the little map I put out in case I'm talking to myself the whole time. I got to talk about something, but you guys control the show. Whatever you talk about, I'll talk about. I'm jumping around. We're talking about Denver. I was going to talk about New England, but nobody wants to, so we skipped that and we're on to Denver. But I don't see any positives that can really happen out of this game if we're really super honest here. Only thing can be is super negative coming out of this game if we're honest. But that's just me. Because everybody that woke up today as Browns fans are saying, boy, we better win and we should win this football game. And I'm right here with you. If we win, let's say, 20-17, ain't nobody going to be happy. Don't kid yourselves. You're not going to go, hey, we won. No, you're going to just get off being all mad because we beat Denver by 3 with Brandon Allen. Let me make sure I got his name right because I don't want to disrespect him. Brandon Allen, I think, is his name. We're going to be upset. We are going to be upset if we beat Brandon Allen and the Denver Broncos 20-17. We're not going to be happy. Let's be honest. Laura, who's out in Colorado, has to deal with all the Denver fans. Do you think she's going to be happy? Hey, if we win, she'll be happy because she wants to make them shut up. But they're going to make excuses regardless. We didn't have Joe Flacco. You should have won. You have Baker, Jarvis, OBJ, Nick Chubb. Really? Like Clyde says on Facebook, we really can't afford to lose this game. If we lose, the sky is falling. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. L. Francis says, I won't be. I just want to win. I hear you. I hear you. You just want to win. I want to win too, but I want to look good because of all the bad that has happened, because the bad has just looked bad. If that makes sense. The bad has just looked bad. So I want to look good in doing it. Robert says, I don't care how many points we win, just win. And Robert said, Chubb takes the league rushing after today. I think that's his bold prediction. I just want to look good. I'm sorry. Call me spoiled. I can be sometimes. I want to look good doing it too. I want my cake and eat it too. Because if you have cake, you want to eat it. Then why would you get cake? I don't understand. That's just my philosophy in it. Give me my cake because I want to eat it. I'm just saying. This is a big game. This is a big game. And Clyde brought it up. I'm glad he did. So I'm going to ask the question right now. Is this a must-win game for the Cleveland Browns? Now, I know. Some people say, well, technically, there's no must-win game until you are mathematically out of the playoffs. Then there's no must-win game. But let's be honest with each other. Is this really a must-win game? I'm going to answer it for you from my opinion, from my point of things. It's a must-win game, okay? A must-win game. This is how I feel. A lot of you may not feel this way, and that's fine. And if you don't feel this way, please elaborate. Let me know why it's not a must-win game. Tell me your side, because I could be completely wrong. I am not always right. And when I'm wrong, I tell you I'm wrong. All the time. Brian says, big dogs of the day, the whole 11-man defense. AAA says, yes, it's a must-win. Clyde said, yes, it's a must-win over on YouTube. And on Facebook, JC says, if you lose, playoffs are done. Chris says, absolutely a must-win. Franchise says, makes sense. That's how everyone was after the Jets win. They didn't look particularly good in that win. Robert says, damn straight, it's a must win. And Robert says, to have a chance in the playoffs, yes, we must win. And Natasha over on Facebook says, a win is a win and she'll be happy. Yes, it's a must win. And she was barking in the chat. Demarius Randall concern you, Corey? Yes, he is concerning me, Jason. Good question. I know he said he doesn't want to be labeled injury prone. And then he wants a new contract. He wants to get extended. I'm not the mathematician. I'm not that. That's Dorsey's job. But him being injured concerns me. Like Ward being injured concerns me. At this point, I just want a healthy team from here on out. We can't afford to lose any more games. All right? I want everybody healthy. So his injuries and his knickknacks are starting to concern me because I like him as a player and I think he is very, very good. But this injury stuff is really concerning me, to answer your question. And Aaron says, yes, it's a must-win game. So we're all on the same boat. It's a must-win game for sure. Listen, you lose this game, you think it's been bad now for us as Browns fans, getting trolled all over the internet, media sessions not going the way you wanted, Browns fans ready to jump off of a cliff, go bungee jumping with no cord, jumping off a plane with no parachute. It's going to get real ugly around 7:30 Eastern Standard Time for me if they lose this ball game. It's a must win. You go 2-6. You can just mail in this season. Mail it in. I know this is what some people are going to say. I already know what they're going to say. And I understand it. I never said we were going to win the Super Bowl this year. Never said it. I didn't say it. But you cannot look me in the eye and say, I seen this coming out going 2-6. I expected it. This is what I expected. You just need to relax. Let the process just pan out. No. Nobody expected this. Yeah, it was going to take time, and yeah, it'll take time to gel. We understand that. But nobody expected 2-6. And if you did, then man, listen. What are the lottery numbers today? Could you give them to me, please? Whether you're watching live or you watch it on the replay, just tell me the lottery numbers so I can get rich. Because I don't think nobody seen this coming. Nobody. I understand. So I think this is a must win. And guess what? Here's the good note. The Browns do too. That's why Baker's so chippy, I believe. And you know he doesn't like that Tony Grossi anyways. Who likes him? That's why he's so chippy. Baker loves winning. Do you think Baker likes being 2-5? No. He's a winner. He is a winner. That's why he's walking around with 2 Lay's bags potato chips on his shoulder. He loves to win. And that's why we love him. That's why we go to bat for him. Do you think we just fight for Baker just to do it? No, because we know he wants to win so bad. We want to win so bad. If we just wanted to lose, you think we just stand around and go, oh, who cares? Oh, well, so what? On to next week. No, we want to win just as bad. How do you drink water with the cap on it? That is absolutely terrible. We want to win just as bad. And that's why we're so passionate. We drink water with the cap on it. That's how passionate we are. We drink water with the cap on it and we want to win. Bo says, stop the negative. I'm not being negative. I'm just being honest. I'm being honest. I am. It's a must win. It is. I don't think that's negative. I think that's just the truth. It's the truth in the matter. That is the truth. Robert says the only game we should really have a problem with in the remaining schedule is the Ravens, and we already beat those punks. Oh, strong words there, my good friend. Strong words. I'm glad you brought that up, Robert. Looking at the Browns schedule. Now, putting a little shine on this is Bo think I was being so negative, which I thought I was being real, but we have our own opinions. It was good to look at this after starting 2-5. The NFL didn't really do us any favors either. Didn't do us any favors. Looking at the schedule. Our first 7 opponents were 36-17. And I'm going to bring this up because I'm going to ask this question and to piggybacking what we've been talking about. Do you think we can rebound after this 2-5 start? Yes, no, maybe. Let me know in the comments. Can we rebound after this 2-5 start? Looking at the schedule, our first 7 opponents were 36-17. That was the second toughest schedule in the NFL. That's not me making no excuses of why we're 2-5. That's just the facts. We had the second toughest schedule in the National Football League. Second. We played the 2 undefeated teams in the National Football League. Well, one, we already knew the Patriots probably would be there. But nobody expected the 49ers to be this good. Both of them undefeated. And during our 3-game losing streak, a combined record of those teams, 21-8. 21-2. So, I mean, hey, we've had a pretty rough go here. And if you look at it, I am not a person of if, what's, buts, and what if this would have happened. But there's a lot of games if we had coaching different and stupid mistakes that we got to clean up. Like Clyde says, we can rebound, but we have to become more disciplined and quit the mistakes. Sweeney says it is facts. I don't know if your first name is I'm a butcher it. I'm just going to say Sweeney. C. Sweeney, because I'm going to butcher your first name. So it is facts. AAA says we could turn around, go Browns, says Sweeney. If mistakes, coaching decisions, we could easily be 3-4, 4-3 with that tough schedule. But we're 2-5. We can definitely rebound, but we've got to clean it up. But that schedule, facts, second toughest in the NFL. Second toughest. Going over here to Facebook. Chris says, keep on keeping it real, Corey. That's what I try to do. I just try to keep keeping it real. It's a must win, says Bo, but I think you're carrying it a little too far with the negativity, but that's just me. We all have our opinions. If you think I'm being negative, that's your opinion. I just think I'm keeping it real, but that's your opinion. Robert says yes. Julie says yes. Browns. Robert says, gotta have faith. Ed says the rest of the schedule is a cupcake schedule. We do have a chance. L Franchise says, yes, the talent is here and we can't continue to get out-coached, but the other coaches are not going to out-coach Kitchens like in the first 7 games. And Chris says, depends on the mindset of the team. Come out and looking defeated already, then no. Anxious to see the attitude today. Besides the Bills and the Ravens, those are the only 2 teams that we play with a winning record from here on out. It's all there, ladies and gentlemen. It is all there for the taking. It's up to us. And I say us because we're fans too. It's up to us to go out and win these games. It's starting today. Any given Sunday. I know it's a movie. I know it's a saying. But it starts today. So do I think they can rebound after this 2-5 start? Yes, I do. Does it frustrate me? Yes, they frustrate me at times. But I think they can rebound. The schedule is there. We have all talked about this point in the year. We have all looked at this schedule. Now, I didn't think the Dolphins would be this bad. I didn't think the Bengals would be 0-4 at this point. But they are. So it's all there. We just got to go out and win these games. Games that we are supposed to win. And today will be a great indication of if we can or not. JC says Kitchen is a good coach, but does not know how to manage all 4 quarters. And Ed says if we lose today, the season's over. If we lose today, we will likely give the Bengals and the Dolphins a number in their win columns. Whoa. I don't think we're going to lose to them teams, but hey, you're entitled to your own opinion. Brian says on YouTube, second toughest first half to second easiest second half. Just saying it can be turned around. Aaron Flowers says go Browns. And Jason says, honestly, our schedule looks good the rest of the year, but not a cakewalk. We need to take it seriously. My man Dennis King says, laugh out loud. The team is 2-5. Baker has 12 interceptions, and they are on a record-setting pace for penalties. Corey is not being negative. He's speaking facts. This team has a lot of problems. Thank you for that shout out. I just try to keep it real. And with all that, you win today. Everybody's going to change their tune around here. And I say it after every week. I said it after the Ravens game. I said it after the 49ers game, which I didn't think we were going to lose like that, but that's a different story. We didn't win the Super Bowl if we win, and we didn't lose the season if we lose, but today it's a different story if we lose. If we win, I'm not saying you guys, I don't want to see you on Twitter. Oh, yeah! Woo! We back! Whoa. One game. Well, let's get it in that positive direction. But I think we can rebound. It starts today. It starts with that mindset. I agree with Chris over on Facebook. I want to see what attitude they come out with going into Denver. I do think, which I'm going to talk about it right now, and what's your guys' thoughts? I do think Baker Mayfield, and you guys can have a different take on this. I don't know. But I do think what Baker went through this week, now you could say it's his fault. He needs to mature. He's too immature. I don't know what everybody's thoughts on this is, but I do think him leaving the media early this week, everything that's going down, I think this makes him play better. That's just my opinion. I think this makes him play better. Now, was he right? Was he wrong? Everybody has a different opinion on that. Could he have handled it differently? Yes, he could have. Of course he could have. But I say this every week on this show. You can say he could have handled it differently. I agree with you. But if you watched it and was shocked, then I go, why were you shocked? You should know who we have by now. It's Baker Mayfield. It's Baker Mayfield and Tony Grossi. We know the relationship. I wasn't shocked. And the question was stupid. It was stupid. Of course you're not going to be happy on the drive you didn't get points. And I said, don't ask me. I told y'all I'm the king of petty. I probably would have left. Threw some paper in the air. I don't know. But I'm the wrong person to ask. But of course he could have handled it differently. Of course. But they showed one part and then they want to hammer him. But like I said, he could have handled it differently. But I think it's going to make him play better. I hope I'm right. I hope I'm not wrong. Because he likes to play with this chip on his shoulder. Now, it hasn't worked for the first 7 games. It hasn't. But hopefully this right here, because he has to see this guy every freaking week. And that's to answer questions every freaking week. So I think it's going to make him play better. He could have handled it differently. But was I shocked? No. Because they have beef. This guy said he would retire if they draft him. Did he do it? No. He's still there. Now I know he was just joking, but don't joke like that then. If you're going to say something, do it. Bashan says, it's a dumb question. He was trying to get Baker to speak against Kitchens. The defense has an opportunity to tee off today. I wish he would have pushed Grossi down and stole his lunch money, says Chris. I mean, it's all of what you think, what you believe. Jason says, yes, Corey, you got it. And Aaron says, one game at a time. Win, let's go. It's all on what you believe. It's all in your interpretation. It's like I said, if you were shocked on what's happened, that's what I don't understand. Because you know by now Baker Mayfield. All these people going, oh my God. How could he do this? What? It's who he is. Like, I don't understand. He just needs... I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. At this point, I just don't understand. But he could have handled it differently. I understand. I think it's going to make him play better. And maybe when he's in year 10, he'll handle something like that differently. But right now, he's not going to. I think he's going to use it as fuel to play a lot better than he has today. And I got 2 big dog, and I got a bold prediction and a big dog today. And my bold prediction has something to do with Baker Mayfield. So hang on and watch out for that. And let me know what your guys' bold prediction is and who you got winning this game. I would appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys. Robert says Mary Kay is the female Grossi. Vashawn says Grossi is awful. Mary Kay isn't too far behind. And Robert says we look pretty good against the Ravens in Baltimore. Why not today? I would have reacted even worse than Baker did, says Robert, with that asinine question. Like I said, y'all already know. I told y'all, man, I wouldn't handle it no better. But that's why I'm where I'm at, I guess, and other people are where they're at. But that's okay. I want to thank everybody for watching. This is Everything Browns Nation. And if you haven't, this is your first time watching, which I'm sure a lot of you, I've seen the names before. You've been here before. You know the drill. Share to all your Browns fans and friends and family. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you haven't, there's your dog check. Dog check to all of y'all. And if you haven't already, click the link in Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube page, and if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed, hit the bell to the right. Man, I need a teleprompter to remind me of all that stuff, because that was hard. My goodness. 4:25, we play the Denver Broncos, led by Brandon Allen. Brandon Allen, you say? Who is Brandon Allen? I have no freaking clue who Brandon Allen is. But that's okay. He hasn't started a game since leading the Razorbacks to a 45-23 win against Kansas State. That's a long time, ladies and gentlemen, to quarterback a game of football, Mr. Brandon Allen. That's who we're going against this Sunday afternoon. He says he's more mobile. He can get out the pocket and make some plays. That's what he said when he was interviewed. I don't know who interviewed him, but he's going to play hard. He's a 27-year-old quarterback. He told that to reporters in Denver. He's more mobile than Flacco. He wanted to make that known. I told you, listen. I could be totally off base here. We could come away and cream this guy, put his face in the dirt. But I hate playing the unknown quarterback. It makes my skin crawl because we have absolutely zero film on this guy. None. We got to go all the way back to when he quarterbacked against Kansas State. And what the heck is that going to do? Nothing. No film of him against this scheme. Nothing. I hate that. But of course, I got to deal with it. Of course, our defense has to go out there because their defense is not as stout as it was when they had Peyton Manning and led him to his last Super Bowl. But they're not slouches either. They're fourth overall in yards allowed at 304.5. So they're not just going to let us go up and down the field. Robert says, watch Vernon today, expecting good things. Bashan says, press the outside with your corners and bring pressure. Dude isn't worth wasting film on, says Robert. Mike says, Florida, go Browns, Gainesville. Chris says 280 yards passing, 3 TDs, 0 turnovers. Robert says OBJ over 100 yards today, Chubb over 200 yards and 2 TDs. Bashan says 27-13 Cleveland. Robert says I would have reacted even worse. I read that one. Hey, you guys are liking the Browns. George says Chubb is going to break loose and make up for last Sunday. John says my problem is Baker, even with time, misses open receivers. Triple A says Baker is going to play great today. Hey. But this defense is not a slouch. They're fourth in passing yards allowed at 194.8. Eighth in points allowed in 18.9. Well, you're like, Corey, man, this defense is just pretty darn good. What the heck are we going to do? You know what we're going to do? What we should do? It's what we have been saying on this show for the past 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. Run Nick Chubb. Now I know. He fumbled twice last week. But guess what? I don't care. I still have faith in Nick Chubb. OBJ even came out and said, man, listen, I feel sorry for them. Nick Chubb, he's probably still mad that he fumbled. And here's the one thing that Denver's defense doesn't do really well. They're not the worst in the NFL, but by God, they're not the best. They're 19th, and that's yards allowed in the rushing game. 109.8. Run Nick Chubb. It's not that hard. The vaunted New England defense that everybody was so scared of, including myself, he ran all over them. If it wasn't for fumbling the ball, that was his only downfall against New England. And if we didn't get down, he probably would have had more rushing yards against that vaunting New England defense. Run Nick Chubb. And yes, Batono did kick him. I do understand that. And he owned that fumble. And AAA says Nick freaking Chubb. And Jason732 says Chubb will have a dominant game today. I agree. You have to run this man. I know Kareem Hunt comes back next week. Nick Chubb is the workhorse. Run him to open up the pass. This whole notion of you have to come out 5 wide. Oh, put me to sleep with that. Protect your line if it isn't that good. Greg Robinson's back. Vern Miller wants to feast on Baker Mayfield. Do not let Vern Miller, really? Von Miller is ready to feast on Baker. Do not even let him get going. How do you negate Von Miller? Run the ball, screen passes, quick passes, then play action. Do not let him tee off. Do not get into third and long situations. Please feed my guy, Nick Chubb. Eric says, run Nick win today. L Franchise says, Nick Chubb ran through a historically great defense last week besides 2 fumbles. Different story. Robert says, Chubb plus Hunt equals Mac plus Biner. That would be fine with me. So Cecilia Sweeney. Okay, Cecilia Sweeney is the name. Appreciate you. And she says, I do have faith in Chubb. He cannot beat himself up. We have some great players. They just need to put it all together. That's all they have to do, is put it all together. We have great players. Now we just have to form a great team. That's all we're waiting on. That's it. You know, that's a good segue point. That is a good segue point. Now, I'm not trying to be negative here. It is just a question that I want you guys to help me answer out. What's been your biggest disappointment so far this season? If you just had to pick one thing, because she's right, we have great players. You can just rattle them off. Rattle them off. Chubb, Baker, Landry, Beckham, Myles Garrett, Sheldon Richardson. I don't know if you can call Denzel Ward great yet. I'm a Buckeye fan, so I'm biased. But what's your biggest disappointment so far this season as we look to turn it around? Half the season is officially over. What's your biggest disappointment so far? Like when you go to bed and you're thinking about the Browns and you're mad or you're happy or you're angry or you're malcontent, what is the biggest disappointment for you so far? Because I know you had expectations at the beginning of the year, and maybe you're not disappointed. Maybe you're like, hey, I'm good. I am great. I am fine. What is your biggest disappointment if you could pick one, only one. You don't get two, you don't get three, you don't get a combined pick. Well, you can do what you want. Who am I to tell you? But if you could pick one just for me, just because I'm picking this out, if you could pick one, or maybe you're like, hey, I am good. I don't have a disappointment because the season's not over yet. All right? I don't have a disappointment. I am good. And that's okay. You don't have to have a disappointment. That is fine. But if you have one, let me know what it is in the comments below. Let me know. Clyde on Facebook. No, Corey. Clyde on YouTube. Woo, I am struggling. Says the offense is my biggest disappointment. The play calling last year was really good. It kept teams off balance. Just thought it would be better with the weapons we have. Dennis says all the penalties are disappointing. It's hard enough to win in the NFL. You can't beat yourself. And Cheryl says all the penalties and coaching is my disappointment. We could have had more wins. Sorry I had to. You sure did have to, but that's okay. I love y'all. Appreciate it. Over on Facebook, Laura BP says the coaching. Jay says the coach. Eric says coaching. El Franchise says play calling. Eric also said Von Miller is mistake prone. Robert says gotta be the play calling mishaps. Bashan says the struggles of the offense from trying to force the ball to Odell. Michael says the record. Chris says the penalties. Bashan says he thinks Higgins will be huge today. Oh, that might be a bold prediction.
Dog check!
Jay says bad play calling. Robert Watson says good call. Let's hope you're right. That's to Vashawn. Shout out to Vashawn. He's even got a cosign on his big dog. Not his big dog, his bold prediction, big dog, whatever you want to call it. He got a cosign for that one. Shout out to Vashawn. He also says how they prepared this offseason has led to struggles to start the season. It's a different offense. Gabriel says biggest disappointment is Freddie's play calling and a lack of discipline. Robert says penalties, and Laura said that too, replying to Robert. Thank you for all of you guys responding to that question. And all of you keeping it to one. Some of you did too, but that is okay. I love you guys. I'm just joking with you. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in every Sunday. For how long you tune in, whether it's an hour, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 22 minutes and 16 seconds. It doesn't matter. I do appreciate you guys watching. You don't understand how much that means. And subscribing to the page, liking the page, sharing, whatever you guys do. It is greatly appreciated. But I would say my biggest disappointment is the man I put on the screen. I didn't hide it well. You probably knew what it was when you seen it. And why is it my biggest disappointment? Because a lot of people warned me and I didn't listen. That's why. My guy LA, he's been a frequent watcher. Heard him talk about it. Young coach could be a downfall for this talent. A lot of professionals, my cousin even said it. I don't know about Freddie, dog. I don't know. I'm like, oh, phooey. He knows what he's going to do. Did you see what he did last year with Baker in that offense? Now he's going to come in here. That offense going to be a blazing. Woo! They got two veteran coordinators. He was the head coach of the Cardinals. He's got the experience he needs, man. He got this. I was pumped up for Freddie. If you wear orange and brown, that's all you matter. Then, happened. It hurt my soul because I had his back to the end. I was still having his back. Nah, man, nah. I don't want to hear that. He'll be all right. We good. So that's my biggest disappointment from the coaching and the mistakes in the coaching and the pit. It all comes down to coaching to me after all. The taking the penalty, go for it on 4th and 16. The 4 passes against the Rams. Getting in the goal line against Seattle and thinking you can score twice and not running Nick Chubb, throwing the pick. I'm not going to revisit it. But that's just my letdown because I really, and I could be wrong. He may come around and boom. And I will replay this like, yeah, you suck, Corey. See, you shouldn't have been disappointed in him. He's great. But that was my biggest disappointment. just because I had so much high hopes. And I was telling everybody, you don't know what you're talking about. That's why Dorsey hired him, because he's great. He knows what he's going to do. So that's my biggest disappointment. Gabriel says, what's your guys' opinion on all the later games in the year instead of the 1 o'clock Sunday games? I don't know, man. I'm being honest with you. When I first seen the schedule, when I seen we only had 8 1 o'clock games, I was like, yeah, we officially arrived. Primetime games, 4 o'clock games. But then when I got to wait till 4 o'clock, I'm like, man. And then when we lose, that means it's like 8 o'clock and I got to think about it all the way through sleep time. That's rough, especially when you stay up till midnight and you get your butt whooped. I don't like that. At least when you lose at 4 o'clock, you still got a little bit of your day left to be sad, then go to bed. But I don't know. You guys can answer that. Do you guys like the early versus late games? Robert says, I didn't think we needed to change coaches. We played well after getting rid of Hugh. Shane says, what's up, Corey? What's up? Francis says, I like them. Give me a chance to clean up, to reset my, is it key grader? Gabriel says, that's exactly how I felt. It's horrible. Laura BP says, makes my day at work fun. Appreciate that. Let me get back to YouTube. George says, turn that beast loose, talking about Chubb. Aaron says, my biggest disappointment is the turnovers, the penalties, and the record. Oh, a lack of discipline every week. Well, you're just disappointed. Man. Hopefully they can turn it around for you, my guy, Aaron. Because you sound like you're just disappointed. And I feel your pain, Aaron. I feel your pain. But we're almost rolling through, guys. 425. Denver, get those predictions in. Bold predictions. Game predictions. And your big dog of the game. Who is it?
Dog check!
And why? Will the Browns start their turnaround in Mile High City? We remember the last play against the Broncos. He's no longer with us. He's alive. But he's just in New York. Was Jabril Peppers with that blitz up the middle with the sack? Bye-bye. I think it was Case Keenum was the quarterback, I believe. Anyways. We remember the last play against Denver. We were pumped up. We were on a high in Mile High. So we're back again. Who's your big dog? Who's your prediction? Let me know. Nick Chubb says L franchise is his big dog of the game. And before I get to my big dog and my bold prediction, our guy Dorsey, are you happy that the Browns made no trades at the trade deadline? Zero, zilch, nada. We were rumored for, the big Trent Williams guy, the tackle in Washington. Nate Soldier was also a rumor. Higgins was supposed to be in the trade rumors, which I said no to, by the way. Denzel Ward came up towards the late hours of trade deadline that Washington wanted. They wanted a first round pick. Are you guys happy that Dorsey did not pull the trigger on any trades? Or do you think he should have pulled the trigger now that we find out Trent Williams is ouchie, actually? But are you happy Dorsey held back, didn't go into maybe panic mode by unloading a lot of assets to get a tackle who now we find out is not 100% healthy? Are you happy that he did not pull that, or should he pull off a trade to get another tackle to help out this line? Because now we're rotating tackles every other week to try to pull off something. And now Von Miller is coming to town. Actually, we're going to his town, but you get where I'm going. Shane says Garrett to have 3 or 4 sacks today. Gabriel says Mal Garrett is the big dog. Robert says Nick Chubb, big dog. Jay says, can OBJ just have one big game? He had one against the Jets. So you're asking for another one. Hopefully he can do it for you. Robert says, I think we needed to make some kind of trade for some O-line help. L Franchise says, yes, problems need fixed by scheme, not a tackle who hasn't played all year. Robert said Dorsey was smart. He didn't want to give up the farm for a player that may only be here 1 year. And Dorsey, we trust, is what we usually say around here. Robert says Kush has to go. Gabriel says very happy. Plenty of tackle talent in the draft. Really like that tackle from Auburn. I think he will help our pass protection tremendously. Dorsey played it smart, says Shane. I like it. I think he did a good job too. We do need help at the line, but being desperate, when you're the desperate one, you're usually the one that gives up way too much. And then you get burned because when you're desperate, you start dealing things you shouldn't deal, and then it usually backfires. So I am glad that we did not do that. So I agree with pretty much all of you said in the chat. Don't do it. Hold pat. See what we can do. You probably would get a better deal in the off season. I don't think anybody thought, the most rational people didn't think we was going to win a Super Bowl this year. Not saying we won't, but a lot of people didn't think we would win a Super Bowl this year. Don't do nothing that you'll regret later, like sending a text when you are angry. Don't hit send. That's all I'm saying. George says, I hear Dan Quinn is available. I will George, you hit a button there. You hit a button there. Big dog of the game will be my big dog of the game. George, you almost hit a button there. I don't want Dan Quinn if we get him for free after blowing that Super Bowl against the Patriots. Woo! I had to say it. My big dog, is AAA says, is Higgins. I don't want no sorry Dan Quinn. And that could me being emotional. But if you blew it against the Patriots, I don't want you. All right? That's for Higgins, big dog. I don't want no Dan Quinn. You blew it against the Patriots. You had one job. Just run the ball in the Super Bowl and you win. All you had to do. You couldn't do that. But, I digress. Aaron said, I thought Odell was going to be touchdown crazy this year. Yeah, me too. But there's still time. There is still time. Let's not give up hope yet. All right, it's time for the big dog. My big dog of the game and my prediction. I went off a little bit there. I can't do it with Dan Quinn. I'm still hurt over that Patriot win. Eric says, if the draft is tackle rich, wait it out and pray Baker doesn't get hurt. All right. My big dog of the game. Everybody's been talking about him. I read their numbers against the run defense. My big dog of the game goes to Nick Chubb. I think he wants to atone for his mistakes against New England, those 2 fumbles. I think the game plan is going to call for getting the ball to Nick Chubb to set up the pass. I think he's going to run on that defense to negate the pass rush that Von Miller and Denver can give to Baker Mayfield. And I think he rolls over Denver's run defense, which is 19th in the NFL, allows over 100 yards a game to negate that pass rush. And I think Nick Chubb gets 23 carries for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's my big dog, Nick freaking Chubb. That's who we call When I seen their numbers, they can be ran on, run the ball, take pressure off Baker. Don't come out here in 5 wide and think you have to win the game in the air. Run Nick Chubb. Run him. And if he gets tired, throw a screen pass to another running back or run a safe run. Open up the pass that way. Keep that defensive line off balance. My bold prediction is Nick freaking Chubb. Robert says Chubb will dominate today. Robert says good call, Corey. Gabriel says November, December are historically Odell's best months of the season. There is that hope. And before I get out of here, I'm going to give you my prediction. Who wins today's game? I told you, I've picked these games out before the season started. My record is not on par, but we still can get my record. We just have to win a lot of games now. I picked the Browns to beat Denver before the year started. They have to win this game. That's all to it. They have to win this football game. So I have the Browns going in to Mile High City and winning this ball game by a score of Browns 24, Broncos 16. Browns win by 8. Not the blowout everybody wants, but they win. Hopefully I'm wrong and they kill them and we can just be all happy. But I think they win 24-16. Move that record to 3-5. And we go from there. And it's on to tackle Buffalo. That's who I have winning. Hopefully I'm right. But if they lose, oh boy. Aaron says 35-9. Baldy Apple says interesting. Brian says Chubb for big dog. Aaron says what happened to Jarvis Landry and OBJ scoring touchdowns and making big plays like this year's men's office better dominant. Well, I hope they get it going. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for this edition of Everything Browns Nation. Let's hope we win and win big time. And my score is off. And it is 35-9 like AAA said. And we can all go to bed super happy and excited for our Browns. But until then, thanks everybody for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Like, share, subscribe to the YouTube page, like on Facebook. And we'll be back next week to talk about the victory, hopefully, of Denver. And we'll all be happy. Until then, I'll see you guys next week. Peace.